Hello everyone, and welcome to our POV review and test drive of the 2021 Hyundai Sonata inline. So of course this is a pretty exciting vehicle, so we won't waste too much time before we get out on the road and take this for a sunset test drive. But I do want to mention a few things here on the outside first. You do have some aggressive inline styling. You have the special 19-inch wheels, inline branding, blacked out mirror caps. And then if we come around here to the rear, you are going to have a special looking rear as well, where you have this blacked out spoiler and quad exhaust tips. But here's the key fob for the vehicle. You can just grab the handle to unlock. Let's go ahead and get inside. As you can see, you do have that really cool animation when you get in. Go ahead and start it up. Now, one of the really nice things about the Sonata has got to be this interior, because this is pretty much the same as a Sonata Limited interior. So you do have this really nice leather wrap steering wheel. We have our special inline branding. We do have our electronic shifter here. You have really good storage since this is a Sonata after all. Dual zone climate control. We got the larger 10-inch display. Got an auto-dimming interior mirror, and we also have a panoramic sunroof. And look at these seats. These seats are really nice. They're Napa leather mixed with Alcantara and branding. Really, really big fan of this cabin. But without further ado, let's go ahead and take it out on the road. All right, but let's go ahead and take off here. So the electronic shifter is pretty easy to use. And I'm sure you're probably watching this video and probably know a few rudimentary things about the Sonata inline, but this does have Hyundai Kia's 2.5-liter turbo 4-cylinder engine. In this application, it's going to be making 290 horsepower, 311 pound-feet of torque. So that is certainly a lot of power and a lot of torque as well. So it's enough to get the Sonata up to speed in 5.8 seconds, according to Hyundai. So this is certainly a pretty quick vehicle and a substantial upgrade over the base powertrain in the Sonata. And there is up to 60 miles an hour. Wow. And what you saw right there is the 8-speed dual clutch transmission at work. So Hyundai did swap out the regular 8-speed automatic for the 8-speed dual clutch transmission for the inline model. And this is their new wet clutch transmission setup. So this is a really, really good transmission. As you can see, when I floored it down there to get past the yellow light, this really does perform very well. But right now we're just kind of cruising down the highway here before we get to a country road. And I do want to point out that, of course, this Sonata is a family-focused vehicle still. It's a Sonata after all. So it is very comfortable. It really feels no different than a regular Sonata behind the wheel. And right now we're just in the comfort mode, but we will go ahead and toggle into the sport mode once we get out to the country road here. We do also have a brake hold function as well. And if you want to hear a sound sample here, we do have the Bose audio system. It is definitely a really, really good audio system. It's pretty bass rich. And speaking of audio, if you guys aren't watching with headphones, I would highly suggest doing that because we are recording with binaural audio, which means you have the 3D auditory experience. So you will enjoy this video a lot more if you go ahead and plug in those headphones. And also there's going to be a full review on our channel where you can find out all the details about the Sonata Inline. But for now, let's just go ahead and enjoy this scenic country road drive here in Kentucky. And we'll go ahead and toggle us into the sport mode. As you can see, it does change your gauge cluster in sport mode. Now, one thing I do want to point out is that this car is front-wheel drive only, which is probably the biggest disappointment about it, is that all-wheel drive would have been really nice, especially with this much power and torque, but it is front drive only. That said, it does still put the power down pretty darn well for just going to the front wheels with this much power and torque. As far as the handling is concerned for the Sonata Inline, I'm actually very impressed by this. When you put it into sport mode, it really firms up the handling. Now, in comfort mode, it is pretty much on the light side, as you would expect of a family sedan, but in sport mode, this really, really does a good job. It stays planted as you go around the corners, but it also has just a nice road feel as well. And now that we've gotten free from the traffic, we can finally unleash this Hyundai Sonata Inline and really just enjoy how it drives. really, really does a good job with the paddles. Wow. I have to say just one thing about the Sonata Inline's driving experience, and I'd say it's very, very confidence inspiring. It's actually my first time behind the wheel of the Sonata Inline, and I just feel very, very comfortable, and I feel like I can push it pretty hard, and it is really just gonna keep me glued to the road, and overall just very, very impressed with the driving experience of this. And guys, that's pretty much going to conclude us for this POV drive of the 2021 Hyundai Sonata Inline. If you enjoyed watching, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below. There will be lots of content on this Hyundai Sonata, so be sure to do that. And we'll catch you next time as we sample more of the latest automotive delicacies.